Hello. This is Heather Picken, and welcome to my channel, Creating Your Fearless Vision. Tell me what you want, and I'll tell you how to get out of your own way. I empower women all around the world to create what I call their fearless vision. And if you like this video, do me a favor. Could you hit that subscribe button below and also give me a thumbs up, because that's how more women will find out about my channel and my mission and vision. My fearless vision is empowering millions of women on this planet to own their power, to create the lives that they really want. But I find the number one thing is getting in their own way. So if you're stuck in a rut, if you're beating yourself up, this channel is definitely going to help you. I'm going to talk about all different subjects, from business, relationships, personal issues. And if you have any suggestions on videos you want me to do, comment below and I will respond to every single comment. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about overcoming fear and anxiety. I believe I am a master at this. My entire life has been about breaking through my own fears and my own anxiety and doing what I do today. So I'm definitely a demonstration to empower women. So I want you to think right now about something, problem that you have fear and anxiety over. And I am going to give you the formula on how you can empower yourself, how you can take yourself out of the fear. Now, if you don't know my background, I use a lot of neuroscience to help my clients transform their perceptions. And why is that important? Well, when we look at fear, fear is nothing but a perception. Okay. And so when we have a perception of what, we think could have happened, we can also transform that. But the fear paralyzes us. So first off, let's go around the wheel and figure out the different fears. So first we want to identify what that specific fear that you have. It could be a fear of failure. So you want to take notes. Think about your problem right now and think about, it could be one or many of the fears that I talk about today. So fear of failure. If I go out and do this thing, do I feel that I am going to fail and that is stopping me? Another fear that you might have is the fear of success. It's interesting when I'm working with women that they have this fear of success. So write that down. What does that look like? Maybe if you're successful in what you want to do, that you feel that your friends will go away. A lot of times I work with women on that issue. We also have a fear of, so we have fear of success, fear of failure. We also have fear of losing a loved one. So when I'm working with clients and they have this issue of fear of losing a loved one, it looks like this. You're in a relationship. It could be your partner. It could be your husband, your significant other. And you feel if you do that thing that you really want to do that is aligned with your core, that you're going to lose that person. So are you identifying with that? Drop a comment below. Let me know so far what you feel is the number one fear that is stopping you. We have to identify it. It's step number one. Another fear that you might have is the fear of not looking smart enough. Okay, so if I'm doing this video and I have this perception that someone is going to see me not as quote unquote smart, would you agree that it might paralyze me from putting myself out there? A lot of times what happens is people don't like to do public speaking because they fear someone in the audience is going to be quote unquote calling them out. And so you want to address, you want to identify, do I have the fear that what I'm doing is, someone's going to quote unquote call me out? I remember years ago when I was speaking, I had that exact same fear. I was really scared because I was in a group years ago called Toastmasters, where it really helps you to develop your speaking skills. And my first presentation, in the audience was like a doctor, an attorney. And so I had this fear that they were going to quote unquote call me out. Now, it turned out I was able to give the presentation and hit a home run because I was able to overcome that fear. So you want to identify, do I have a fear that I'm not going to be smart enough? Another fear, I know women can identify with this as well, is that, do I have the health and vitality? Do I look young enough or pretty enough or skinny enough? We live in this curated life, right? We live in a curated Instagram life or filtered life where we constantly compare ourselves to other people, specifically women. And we think, well, I can't do that, right? I can't put myself out there because, there's someone over there that's younger. And I want you to just let go of that noise because the danger in comparing yourself is that you keep minimizing who you are. So do you have that fear? And it's okay. It's okay if you have that fear. I work with a lot of clients, from different age ranges, especially women that are more mature, that they will have this fear. It's like, Heather, if I put myself out there in the dating world, will I find a man that loves me for me? Because I feel like I'm competing with everyone else, with all these other women that are younger, prettier, whatever that excuse is. And it's an excuse. It's an excuse. So you just you don't want to make yourself wrong. You don't want to beat yourself up, but you want to identify what those fears. So step number one, name the fear, identify, it could be one or many of those fears. Another fear could be fear of an authority figure. So what does that look like? If you take whatever action that you want, it could be in your business or career, do you have the perception that if you take that action, that a person that you're putting on a pedestal is going to call you out? You don't want to take the action because you're afraid of what they might say. Now, an authority figure, it could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a teacher. It's someone that you quote unquote look up to. And my philosophy in my training is you never put anyone above you. You want to see yourself as equal. You never want to minimize your greatness. I find a lot of women do this. We minimize who we are and we shrink instead of shining. And so you want to ask yourself, do I have that fear if I put myself out there that quote unquote authority figure is going to call me out? And that's a huge issue for women. I find if we want to get ahead, if we want to move further in our business, career, any area of your life, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot be afraid to just to really focus on what other people think. And that's another issue. A lot of times women have this approval issue, right? And this is taught at a very young age that we have to be these perfect princesses. And I have to tell you, that really stops us as women. So if you're watching this and you know that you're saying yes to everyone else because you want to please everyone, realize that it is impacting you in every single area of your life. Okay, so let's just recap. Number one, identify one or the many of the fears. And when you have the fear, do you notice that it creates anxiety? You start amping that up in your mind, going, oh, gosh, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. Well, how you deal with it is dissect the fear, number one. So the second thing that you want to do after you identify the fear is I want you to kind of go back in your, what I call your fearless lifeline, your lifeline of when you can remember feeling like you needed that approval, right, of an authority figure. This is important. The work that I do is extremely deep and extremely impactful for changing and remodeling what is called the neuroplasticity of your brain. And you might be like, what the heck is that? Why is that important? It's important because if you don't know how to change your brain, if you don't know how to change that subconscious program, that you go back to the old behavior. You go back to shrinking, right, instead of shining. You go back to feeling small and playing in your fear. And that's where the anxiety starts bubbling up. So one of the things that I tell my clients to do is like, let's try to pinpoint the most extreme moment in your life where that originated, right? Those fears originated. I will tell you this, you might have heard some gurus say the fear of the unknown. That's actually false. There's no such thing as the fear of the unknown. There's actually a content of the fear. That content is the memories, particularly your subconscious programming, which is your subconscious mind is like a filing cabinet. So it stores all of that information, all of those patterns and behaviors. And really your subconscious mind is the body, or your unconscious mind is your body. Meaning if you're not taking the action, your subconscious mind is running the show. I'll do another video on that, but today we're talking about the fear. We're talking about breaking through. So we talked about identifying the fear. We also talked about going back to a memory in your fearless lifeline of where you recall that really taking over. Now, I want to give you a quick story of a client. I'm not going to share this person's name, want to protect her, but I want to give you these examples, because when I give you these examples and stories of women I've worked with throughout the years and all around the world, to me, that is going to empower you. So this client came to me and she had a weight issue. She was unable to lose the weight. We correlated it to her childhood, where her mom was basically beating her up verbally, telling her she was fat, don't eat that cookie. And so she created a program of that fear of approval, that she was never good enough. Can you see that all of your fears are really things that you created when you were younger? You can start seeing that. And so I basically help my clients to connect the dots, transform the fear so that it disappears, right? When your fear disappears, you can start giving yourself permission to go to the next level of your life. And I will tell you, you're always going to have fear. It's never going to go away. You just give yourself permission to go to the next level. Like, let me give you an example in a business context. So I work with a lot of female visionary entrepreneurs, and as they make one level of income, what happens after they conquer that first fear, they want to increase their income. And so guess what? You got to do things that feel uncomfortable. And so we go back to the fear, we transform it so that they can go to the next level. So we talked about the last step, about looking at the earlier moments in your lifetime where you can really understand where that fear came from. It is a program, and you can change the program. You can change your perception. So remember what I said in the beginning, that fear is about a perception, and we can magnify that perception if we don't understand what it really is and where it comes from. So that's why you have to do step number one. You've got to identify it. You've got to look at your fearless lifeline, see where it's coming from. And then the third step is focusing on creating a belief that is more empowering to you. Now, it is through the repetition that your subconscious mind will change. Okay. So when I talked about the changing the brain's neuroplasticity, what I really mean is that you can change the way that you perceive anything if you do the work. And it's through the repetition that the subconscious mind can change. And so you want to imprint in your subconscious mind how to transform that fear. Now, I'm just going to give you a shortcut formula. I go into a little bit more in depth in creating what I call neural links in the brain. And that's literally connecting the dots, transforming it in the moment so it doesn't run your psychology. So one of the things that you can do is look to see where you are powerful and not fearful in another area of your life. Why is that important? Because you can be, quote unquote, fearless in other areas. When you look at, let's just say you want to create a business, you've got a lot of fear, you identify where that trigger was, but you also want to focus on where you have or where you're being fearless in other areas of your life. So maybe you're fearless when you're working out in the gym. Now, what you want to do is take that a step further, is you want to embody what that feels like. Okay, so remember I'd said that your unconscious mind is really your body. You're essentially training your body over and over again, by that program. When you start focusing on already having the feelings of being fearless, right, in other areas of your life, you can transform that into the form that is supporting you. And that's one way that you can do it, through the repetition, focusing on where you want to kind of feel that energy. And then you make it a habit. Okay. So if you're working out at the gym at the first time, at first it feels unfamiliar, right? And then you start training your muscles, right? When you start training your muscles, you are essentially rewiring your physiology. When you're actually working out in the gym, you know what you're doing? You're retraining your nervous system. It's the same thing with fear. When you're working on breaking through the fear, you're actually retraining your nervous system. And I might go into a deeper video about that actually in a later time. But right now, we just want to talk about the fear. I want to talk about what it is, where it originated, some tools and strategies that can empower you, and also realize that you will always have fear. You heard this quote, like, new level, new devil. You're always going to have fear. I always have fear, but I have the tools that can transform my perceptions so that in seconds it can change. In seconds. It does not take years to overcome your fear. Now, I will say this about fear. Fear is actually helpful, okay? Sometimes when we have fear, taking action on that thing is not the right thing. So it's kind of like to me, like a barometer of going, okay, do I really want to do that? Is that really in alignment with my vision, with my fearless vision? So if that fear surfaces up, maybe, just maybe, it's not for you to take action. So I want you to think about the fear. I want you to think about transforming the fear. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into this work, one of my latest books, I want to show it to you right here, the Dolce Vita Formula, A Woman's Guide to Living a Fearless and Fabulous Life. You can go to fearlessandfabulousbook.com, fearlessandfabulousbook.com. I have the digital formula, or the digital version, and the physical copy. If you go there, you can also go to heatherpicken.com. And this book, it gives you the science of breaking through your fear, identifying your unique formula so that you are taking action on things that are most in alignment with you. So I will also put that link down below in that description. And I will do a drawing every single month to either send someone a copy of my physical book or my digital copy. And so here's how you can enter to win. Put a comment down below and let me know what your fear is. Let me know your specific fear that you have that is taking you away from your fearless vision. Okay. So tell me about that. Let me know, actually do this work, right? Do the steps that I talked about. I'll have more videos about fear and anxiety. The last thing I will say about calming your mind when it comes to anxiety. Number one, at all times, you have control over how to alter your perceptions. I think we've been taught by society that we have to allow anxiety to run us. I know that to be not true with the clients I've worked with that have come to me, saying they're depressed or they have social anxiety, and in a very quick time can turn that around just like that. Okay. It's understanding neuroscience, it's understanding human behavior, and realizing that you are powerful. And so when you feel yourself feeling anxious, I'm going to give you one little quick strategy. Is I want you to make this conscious connection. When you have anxiety, just notice it. Don't make yourself wrong. Just say, wow, that's interesting. I'm having anxiety about whatever, taking a test. I'm having anxiety about going on a date or being in this relationship. The reason why you want to make that conscious connection is that realizing that those feelings that you have, it's coming from your subconscious. And anything that you're not aware of, you cannot change, okay? So you start writing it down, making that conscious connection and not making yourself wrong. And when you start noticing that, you want to take it a step further and you want to create some kind of strategy that will allow you to shift your energy. So here's what I tell my clients to do. When you're feeling anxious, number one, of course, being aware of it and doing something to get yourself out of that physical space. So if you're at home, go for a walk, get a cup of coffee or get a cup of tea. Do something to change the energy. And what this does, when you're actually moving your body, you're getting yourself out of that physical space, you're shifting those patterns, you're shifting those connections in your brain to familiarize yourself to creating a different strategy. So again, your unconscious mind becomes your body. I'm teaching you how to rewire your brain for success so that you can live your fearless vision. I'm a woman on a mission, so if you like this video, please push that little button, that little, I say ring that Pavlov's bell, so you'll be notified of the videos, and give it a thumbs up. And again, comment below if you want to be entered in my monthly drawing to win a copy of my book on the Dolce Vita formula, or I'll also put this in the drawing. And when you enter, make sure you tell me which book you're interested in. Woman on Fire Entrepreneur. Okay, so I will be raffling off one of these books every week, either physical book or digital form. Did I say every week or every month? I meant every month. Okay, until next time, this is Picken, and live fearlessly. Take care. Bye-bye.